What's up YouTube, Capital G here, another quick batch of duels for you guys to check out, and we're starting things off with Doki Doki Magnets, but this is actually Doki Doki Magnets with a twist. Let's see if we can actually find what the twist is. Well, there's obviously a whole lot of Earth attribute monsters. We got Rescue Cat. It is a Sekka's Light build of Doki Doki. That means that you're not going to see, well, pretty much any spells or traps this duel from the deck at the bottom, but it means no Brilliant Fusion or no, basically no tricks, no impermanences, nothing that is going to come out of left field. But it's very interesting because this Doki Doki build almost runs, it's very similar to like Burning Abyss, and you're kind of using the same type of monsters. You've got the Orbital Highlander. Obviously we know that Block Dragon is just like stupid in the advantage that you can make. Plus, you know, there's oh man, I'm forgetting her name. There she is, Gorgonic Guardian. That card's obviously really strong, and pretty much any meta, because you know it has that disruption, it's a quick effect, and it can blow up monsters on your opponent's side of the field. So you can see it was pretty easy to get 3 monsters on board. Now, this is the interesting thing. So you go into Curious, and then you're actually going to dump your Block Dragon into the graveyard. You now bring it back out. You go for Mrs. Radiant, get a whole bunch of searches, get your Orbital Highlander, and then you summon Block Dragon. Now, there could have been a possibility here. I don't think you really are in a great position to go for a rank 8, but I'm looking at the field now, and I'm seeing a potential for a rank 8, but I think it's better to just keep the 2 monsters kind of separated, because you want the Orbital Highlander to have that effect. This is kind of like how Burning Abyss will kind of regulate its graveyard with the Fairy Tale Snow, but it's just done a little differently. Block Dragon is kind of what does it. So he tried to pop the Galtea, but Galtea is still just coming back, so no big deal. Phantom Knights of Rusty Bardique is going to be summoned. That means probably a couple of Fog Blades. Nope, just one Fog Blade, unfortunately. Attacks over the Mrs. Radiant, doesn't matter, it's just going to float into his hand, and now you're going to see this offensive explosion. Keep in mind, Doki Doki have ways of the Magnets have ways of unloading their hand, and he should be able to potentially make a pretty strong board here. Nightmare Phoenix to get rid of the back row. It is a Fog Blade, so he loses that. I think he's going to, well, I thought he was going to try to pop the Fog Blade with Orbital, but no, he actually hits the field spell so that they can't use their effects as quick effects anymore. Now he's going to go into that Nightmare Unicorn. I think he's just trying to get rid of the spells and traps. I think he's like, Cap, I can get rid of the front row, and Berserkian is going to come down, pop a couple of cards, summons the Block Dragon back from his graveyard, and you guys were not expecting that type of offense. Even when he summons back the Rusty Bardique, doesn't even matter. I wonder what he could have done with this glow up bulb. Could he have summoned the Link Karibo? Maybe that could have been an option, because I would imagine that traditionally he probably uses it to summon Naturia Beast, because there's obviously, you know, most of the deck is going to be Earth. But I think in that situation, maybe you could have went for possibly like a Link Karibo and then just summon Block Dragon into a different column. Second duel, we got Trickstars against Qliphort, and you know, people have forgotten about Qliphort Towers and how fucking difficult that card can be to kill. I know that because we have Borrow cards in Yu-Gi-Oh that, you know, we kind of tend to forget, but I still think Tower is a very strong card, especially that whole, you know, get rid of a card from your opponent's hand or their field. Now, I don't know about what this Trickstar player did. He instead went for double Reincarnation instead of, like, I personally would rather have double Lycoris on field, because the Reincarnations are good and they do summon a monster, but personally I would rather just have double Lycoris. I'm not trying to get overwhelmed turn 1. He is going to just hard rip both copies of the Trickster Reincarnation. I think the proper way to do this, I've seen so many people misplay with this, you're actually supposed to chain one after another. You're not supposed to let one resolve and then activate another, because if your opponent top decks an Ash Blossom, they can negate the second one, and then you kind of lose like all that burn damage. So that's just a little heads up. But anyways, he actually draws pretty good. Now I wonder if it would have been better to just let him search, because if you like, I kind of, whenever my opponent plays a spell that gets them to a monster, I want to know exactly what I'm playing against. Like, I'm never going to negate the Rhoda. I'm going to negate the card that comes after it. No, you know, not the Terraforming, but the Trickstar Reincarnation or the Union Hanger, because I kind of want to know what you're playing. And when you activate Summoners Art, like, I don't know if you're playing Qliphort. Maybe he could have waited and negated the Qliphort stuff. Now he is going to, you know, get the Lycoris back, and he's actually doing a pretty good job when it comes to the burn damage here, getting his opponent low, but he does have that Towers, and for you know, Trickstar is not exactly the easiest card to kill. Now I thought at this point, I was like, all right, he's got him, GG, easy, no re. I thought, okay, he could just summon back his Lycoris from the Trickstar Reincarnation, in the graveyard. Obviously, he can go for Borosword Dragon. He can attack over towers. And guess what's not in the extra deck, guys? He's playing a freaking Altergeist Hextia, but he's not running Borosword Dragon. Rest in pepperonis to budget players. Can't afford Borolo Dragon, or excuse me, Borosword Dragon. And yeah, I probably would have been able to win this duel, but he is still going to be coming close because of Holly Angel's burn damage. The problem is he just can't get over this damn towers. Even if he goes into Borolo Dragon, I believe that the 500 him losing 500 attack like is just gonna basically stop it. So I think that this is just a situation where he might actually die this turn after opening up so good. He has his opponent at 700 life points, but that bounce right there doesn't even matter. Don't think that there's any chance of him surviving. Or can he survive? Can he use the Trickstar reincarnation and then stop an attack? Yep, but nope. Nope. Totally forgot. Yep. Qliphort Shell, when you tribute summon for it, remember it gets to attack twice. That random double attack monster ends up doing him in. And really, I just don't know that like Trickstar can actually deal with tower. Maybe if Trickstar Caribbean was a thing in the TCG, he would have had a way of easily getting around it. But I don't know the exact map. But I wonder if he would have opened with the one reincarnation and the 2 copies of Lycoris, if he would have actually won, especially if he would have just let his opponent get these searches and not actually use Ash Blossom. But then I guess he would have just had even more monsters, so maybe he would have ended up dying quicker. And then our last duel is going to be one of those duels where, man, I don't understand the allure of these Cosmo decks where you run these super big ships, and I just feel like these things are Brick City. I mean, I get Dark Destroyer, don't get me wrong, I get the Fire King Dark Destroyer, but I never understand Dark Eclipser and stuff like this. And I can't tell you how many times I've seen somebody summon True King of all Calamities and end up getting wrecked, although the card's getting a lot better with Dark Neostorm because of all the level 9 support. Now, to I guess his opponents, or to his credit, to his opponent, you don't generally expect your opponent to have the Fog Blades. Now, I thought this was a mistake, right? So he summons the Dark Destroyer and he pops this Phantom Knight, the PK monster. I don't get why he didn't simply wait. Actually, I don't think that this is a PK. It's yeah, this one's not a PK, but it works in PKs. I don't understand why he didn't let him go for the Phantom Knights of Breaksword and then Dark Destroyer that, because he probably would have done that. I mean, maybe if he attacks, then fine, whatever. Well, no, he can't attack because he can't attack because of True King of all Calamities. So I feel like he should have just let him go for Breaksword or whatever link play he was going to go for, and then he could have popped it. No effects could have activated. He would have been in good shape, but he's going to find out the hard way that True King of all Calamities is a card that can 100% be stopped. He is going to get a Dark Destroyer back. Unfortunately, as I said, that Fog Blade, doesn't matter if you chain, bro, your effect is negated. He's going to activate the Phantom Knight's wing, which actually just makes it so that he isn't destroyed the first time, doesn't take nearly as much damage. He's able to do something okay where he gets the Dark Lady to have a little more negation, so that's fine. Problem is, when you go for Breaksword, if your opponent negates it, it's just going to come back stronger. Breaksword is so strong if you know your opponent has some type of destruction, because then you go in for Dark Rebellion AC Dragon, and he has the launch in his hand, which means out comes Requiem Dragon. He can now just take away all those attack points from the True King of all Calamities, and yeah, pretty much at this point he has too much disruption. Now maybe you can argue, because he still has Diagram, that he can somehow get out of this, but I just seriously doubt it. That True King of all Calamities has no effect and no attack. Tries to activate the Winged True King, that's not going to happen. Tries to activate the Cosmo Strawman, that's not going to happen either, and he's just going to scoop it up. Well, no, what I didn't realize, or what I didn't understand here, is why he didn't summon the Nightmare Cerberus, which I was like, okay, maybe he just doesn't play Cerberus, but here it is. I'm pretty sure that he doesn't have any materials left. He could have just went Nightmare Cerberus. He could have popped Dark Requiem. I mean, yeah, it probably doesn't really do that much since he already has Rebellion Dragon here, but at the very end, also, actually, no, I probably would have done nothing, because he also would have had the Phantom Knight's Fog Blade in the graveyard. Thus, he would have been able to revive one of his PKs. I mean, at least it would have been like going down with a fight or something like that. Or, hell, just activate the Allure Darkness. See if you can luck sack your opponent, which, spoiler alert, no, he would not have. He actually was going to draw a Cosmo Town and a Droll and Lockbird. So, completely inconsequential. And then, oh yeah, this was the best part of the duel. I forgot. I was like, man, this duel is kind of capital. Why did I even upload this? He ended up activating the Phantom Knight launch and going into Rongo off of a copy of the Phantom Knights of Breaksword and since he actually went into 75, guess what he gets? He gets that destruction effect. Oh man, I almost completely forgot about the best part of this duel was him randomly going into Rango while playing Phantom Knights. That was actually pretty epic of an ending. Hopefully you guys enjoyed these duels. If you did, give the video a thumbs up. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already, and turn on that notification bell for daily videos. And actually, you know what? Let's just go ahead and show off the Second Light version of Doki Doki Magnets, because I'm pretty sure people are going to probably ask about that. This build reminds me so much of Burning Abyss, not just because of the Second Light, but because of all like the level 3s. The Magnet Warriors just happen to be level 3. You've got Qliphort or excuse me, not Qliphort, but Galaxy Star Beast and Rescue Cat. We see those in the Second Light version of Burning Abyss. Obviously, you need to load your graveyard up so that you can summon things like Orbital Highlander. And then if you happen to get like Black Dragon or Glow Up Bulb or Giant Rex off of your Galaxy Star Beast, it's like, all right, that's pretty good. Not only can you get massive burn damage with Black Dragon, but you're going to summon the card back from the graveyard. This guy is just fodder. Giant Rex, get it into the graveyard, and then you can basically just like summon it back when you banish it from Black Dragon. Maybe use it with Naturia Beast for your, maybe use it with Glow Bulb for your Naturia Beast. So definitely makes sense. Only card I was looking at where I was like, this kind of Kappa is the Power Giant. I wasn't really sure about that. Even Link Slayer, I think, kind of made sense because it is Earth attribute, and it's basically like Cyber Dragon, doesn't have the contact fuse elements, but you know, it's a card that I kind of understood like an Earth version of Cyber Dragon. But the Power Giant, this one was a little weird to me, but it's just a nice, interesting take on a deck that I've never seen like this, and I wouldn't have imagined that I would have seen this deck played without Brain Fusion.